Representative Barton.
Mr. Speaker, I move the House concur in the Senate amendments to House Bill 3469 and repass the bill.
Representative Barton moves the House concur in the Senate amendments to House Bill 3469 and repass the bill. To your motion.
Mr. Speaker and colleagues, this concurrence is a perfect example of the old adage, never have a bill that is relating to crime. The underlying bill, House Bill 3469, related to the strangulation of victims when they are known to be pregnant. Because, again, the very broad relating clause, it was used to make a series of technical and one substantive changes regarding animal welfare laws. So, brief note about those. Section 3 of these amendments makes animal welfare serious. Essentially, this legislature has passed a series of animal welfare laws. However, we've never specifically directed Legislative Council to put them together. This places them together in a series which will make for either easier reference and reading in the future. As part of that, there does make one substantive change that the humane special agents that currently exist will now have the ability to enforce the law of encouraging animal abuse. They already have broad authority to do animal welfare law enforcement. However, encouraging animal abuse, because of this amendment, will now fall in that authority. These are benign amendments to a very important underlying bill. I urge an aye vote.
Thank you, Representative. Representative Post.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Question to the carrier.
Question to the carrier. Does the carrier yield?
I do.
He does.
I would never, ever want to try to embarrass or put on the spot my friend and colleague, the representative from Clackamas County, but he was the only person I could think of to ask this question. And so I ask, this amendment that was done in the Senate, though I know you weren't over there, was this, do you think, as a result of either the Oregon Humane Society or the U.S. Humane Society?
Mr. Speaker and Representative, he did not completely ambush me. He did get me this question immediately before we gavelled in this morning. Thank you for that courtesy. I cannot speak to whether or not these amendments were done at the behest of anybody. Upon thinking about it, the one substantive change does affect very slightly the Oregon Humane Society, not the Humane Society of the United States, but the Oregon Humane Society, which employs the Humane Special Agents. But again, I really don't know at all whether or not it was done at their behest or request.
Okay, thank you. To the motion.
To the motion.
Thank you. This bill, if I could penalize someone who strangles a pregnant woman, I would put them in a hole deep somewhere in the basement of the penitentiary forever. So don't mishear me. We should throw the book. And I thought we did that when we voted on this in the House. It was a nearly unanimous vote. The idea of strangling a pregnant woman is so repugnant to me. I can't imagine it. And then to add animal welfare to that. Now, I understand about the relating clause, and I thank the representative for Clackamas County for bringing that up. The relating clause, I would chide, would be the word, us, when we write, to be a little sharper about writing our relating clauses relating to crime. We in here understand relating clause issues. They out there do not. All they're going to see is strangling pregnant women and animal welfare. How do those two go together? I'm embarrassed by this. Now, I'm going to vote yes because of the underlying issue, what we're really addressing. And I will concur on this, but I'm telling you, it breaks my heart that we would tie these two things together. And I don't believe we in the House are responsible for this. I don't know who was responsible for this, but it absolutely kills me to talk about it in the same paragraphs. The original bill was a great bill. If I could somehow perhaps persuade us all to not concur and to get that taken out and go back to what it was, I would. I don't know how to do that. I'm a new guy. So I just want you to know this is how much this really bothers me. And I thank you for your time and indulgence.
Thank you, Representative. Seeing none, Representative Barton, please.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker and colleagues. I appreciate your patience with this. I want to be very clear. I sympathize with the comments that have been said. previously. Again, I believe none of them have spoken to the motion. The motion is for concurrence. It is perhaps although the two issues are fine, I support the changes if they were done separately. I concede that it is in questionable taste to link these two bills together. I wish that were not the case, but again, just because of the time in the session and the extreme importance of the underlying bill, we need to move forward with concurrence. I do think this is, again, a lesson that I learned my freshman term. I sponsored a bill that was relating to crime. It was a perfectly benign bill about parole board procedure, and it was stuffed on the Senate side and dramatically changed, and my name has forever been associated with that bill. Relating clauses really matter, and relating to crime, along with perhaps relating to revenue, are the two most powerful of all relating clauses we deal with. This is a paradigmatic example of how we should be very, very cautious with those relating clauses moving forward. Again, I apologize that we're in this situation today, but I appreciate an aye vote. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Representative. Those who are